It's another day, and today we are looking at the Young Learners of English, that's the Cambridge Young Learners of English Speaking Test, and we'll be looking at finding differences between two pictures. As you are already aware, the Cambridge Movers English Test, or what we call the YEL Movers English Test, includes finding differences, 4 differences or 5 differences between two similar pictures. In other words, two pictures that look the same, or sometimes two pictures that look entirely different but have certain relatable differences that they will expect the child to find. So today we'll be looking at a typical example from Cambridge Movers, Fun for Movers book. And this one, they are asked to find 5 differences between Paul and Tom. Now, looking at the picture on your screen, Paul is the guy with the blonde hair and Tom is the guy lying on the bed. So I'm going to take you through some of the differences that you can find between Paul and Tom, or Tom and Paul in this case. First, if you study the picture critically, so what I'll do is that I did some circling to guide you to easily identify the differences. So first is, you can see that I've circled Tom's leg that is in bandage, and here I've circled Paul's hand. So one of the differences in this case that you can state is that Tom has a broken leg or an injured leg, but Paul has an injured arm or a broken arm. Now, usually for the Cambridge Young Learners or Movers Speaking Test, the structure is a little bit different from this. Today's structure is going to be uniquely based on the pictures that are presented. So one is that Tom has an injured leg or a broken leg, depending on how you see it or how you want to say it, whilst Paul has an injured arm. Now, next, you can see their hair, or their hairs are circled. So here we'll talk about the differences between their hair, and you say Tom has blonde hair, or Tom's hair is blonde, whilst Paul's hair is black. That's another noticeable difference between Tom and Paul in this picture. Next, you can talk about what they are wearing. The color of their t-shirts is another way of stating the difference. So Tom is wearing a white t-shirt, whilst Paul is wearing a green t-shirt. Another obvious difference between these two individuals in the picture. Then let's move on to certain apparels or certain things that are around them. So if you look next to Tom's sofa, you can see a small round table with a plant on it. But if you look at the thing next to Paul, you see a cupboard with a book and a cup of milk or a glass of milk. So here, since I circled the plants and what are on the object next to their beds or sofas, I'm going to say that Tom has a plant on a table next to him, whilst Paul has a book and a glass of milk on a cupboard next to him. That's another obvious difference that you are expected to notice. Then the next set of differences that I want to talk about in this particular picture on your screen now. Don't forget, every picture that I show on your screen has a unique difference circled. So in this picture, we realize that one, Tom has a single pillow, whilst Paul has 2 pillows. You can put it this way, still accepted. Tom has a single pillow with him, whilst Paul has 2 pillows with him. You can also add an extension by saying Tom has a single blue pillow with him, whilst Paul has 2 white pillows with him. You can also put it in another way by saying that Tom's injured leg is on a single blue pillow, whilst Tom's head is resting on two white pillows. Either ways, you are just stating the difference the way you see it, and it's still accepted. Then the next slide, we have what they are sitting or sleeping on. So Tom is sitting in a sofa, whilst Paul is sleeping on a bed. So Tom is sitting in a sofa, whilst Paul is sitting on a bed. Then next we look at the objects next to them. There is a table next to Tom, whilst there is a cupboard next to Paul. Now the next one, let's look at what they are doing. So you can say Tom is awake, but Paul is sleeping. Or while Tom's eyes are open, Paul's eyes are closed. That's another way you can state that difference. Then there are a few other ones that you can look at depending on what you are seeing. On me, with my slide, is the last one, but you can also talk about the fact that Tom is in the house whilst Paul is at the hospital or in the hospital. That's another difference that you can find over there. So that is it for today. Finding differences between uh, two people. Now, in the next lesson, I will show you a slide of what we do. This is a typical standard mover speaking test picture, finding differences. And the structure for this is quite different. So, in the next class, we'll go through that. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.